Thank you everybody for attending this webinar on leading major projects, titled What It Takes to Lead Major Projects. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you taking the time. I'd like to introduce our professors who are going to be leading the course as well as leading this webinar. And that is Graham Winch and Natalya Sergeeva. I hope I'm saying the surname correctly, Natalya. But they are our excellent professors who've been leading this course for a very long time, and always get rave reviews. Always people are really, really pleased. People really love the course. It really prepares them for that next step in their journey, next step in their career. Graham, Natalya, would you like to say anything?
Well, just good morning, everybody. We'll be sort of handing the presentation to people, but I'll be driving it from here. And then Natalya, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to do this webinar with you today. Yes, fantastic. And we look forward to running the course.
Yeah, and we've got lovely weather for it as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I'll share my screen now. So good. So can everybody see the screen?
Just let us know in the chat if
Yes.
you can see the screen, people. Thank you so much.
Right, I'll minimize. And you better let people know that we're recording as well, Quincy.
Yes, thank you for that. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We're going to be recording this as well, please. So just to be aware of that, we'll be recording the webinar. We'll be finishing promptly at 11:30 as well. So we'll have a few minutes as well for Q&A if you've got any questions. So thank you, everybody. And I like to just introduce you again. Maybe some of you, it's your first time interacting with the University of Manchester. So thank you so much for jumping on the webinar. This is the Leading Major Projects webinar for the Leading Major Projects course that's going to be happening in May. And the title of this webinar is What It Takes to Lead Major Projects. For those of you who just joined the call, the course is led and run by Graham and Natalya, and also some of their guest speakers as well. So, and it's a great course, a very, very popular course, always has rave reviews, really preparing people for that next step in their leadership journey, leading projects, programs, and portfolios in a very effective way. Could we go to the next slide, please, Graham? I think you've got control.
Not going. Why won't it go?
I can get perfect.
Yeah, good.
Just like we're saying, they're excellent. So we've got Graham Winch, course lead, professor of project management here at the University of Manchester, and our business school, Alliance Manchester Business School. We've got Eunice, who's also a course lead, and she's a senior lecturer in project management. We've got Natalya, again, another course lead, associate professor of project management at UCL, and she comes to lead this course. And then myself, I'm a client relations manager, so I'm kind of in between, working with all the candidates yourselves, talking to you through the course, getting you booked on the course, sorting out things like payments and any questions you may have on the course. So brilliant. Thank you so much, Graham. Just that next slide, please. Brilliant. So course information, so just some basics. It's a 4-day in-person consecutive course, consecutive over 4 days. It's an in-person course. So we do have a virtual learning environment that sits around it, access to our system called Canvas. And within that, you'll get access to the case studies, the pre-reading. For up to a year afterwards, you still have access to things. So if you think, oh, what was that excellent thing Graham said on day 2, you can still go back to it. But it is an in-person course as well. So we find that works better to really immerse you into the project, give you time away from work so that you can really immerse yourself into your personal leadership and improving your understanding of projects. So like I said, we learn a lot from case studies as well. So Graham, Natalya, Eunice, as well as being professors, they're also consultants within the private and public space. So they'll be using their real world examples of how they've helped major organizations from the public and private sector to really improve their understanding and their leading of projects. So it's, even though there's a lot of theory, there's also a lot of practicality that you can take back to your business as well.
Yeah.
The next start date will be the 20th to the 23rd of May, 2025. So please do get in contact as quickly as you can. The cohort is filling up. We don't let it ever get past 30. So it's still a very personal cohort as well. So you'll have lots of time to speak personally with Graham and also the other candidates coming from all across the world who are coming on that date. And then if you complete 4 short courses, so this one, and perhaps you do another one such as Leading Digital Transformation that's happening next week, or MLDP, you'll receive the Manchester Professional Diploma in Leadership. And that means, as well as getting the diploma, 2 of the 4 short courses you'll have at a discount as well. And just to also mention, there's 50% off for Greater Manchester businesses as well. We've got 50% funding. I see a few people in the chat who I've spoken to before from Greater Manchester. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Graham.
Right. Great. Thanks, Quincy. So, as Quincy said, this course has been developed over the years by myself, Natalya, and Eunice, or Natalya and I delivering it this time. We sort of switch around on the deliveries. And this has come out of our work basically in executive education in Manchester and also at University College London. And where we've worked with some large corporates, a lot of the ideas we've got here come from organisations such as BP, but also, very interestingly, one of our major clients at the moment is the National Trust, who are implementing their 2035 strategy. They announced their 2035 strategy in January, and we're doing a leadership program with them about how they're going to deliver, how they're going to use projects to deliver that 2035 strategy. So we've got a wide range of organisations we draw on. Obviously, we've had a lot of people on the program who've come through the National Trust. We actually usually have somebody in the class from the University of Manchester wondering how to deliver the sort of projects and programs that help the University of Manchester run better over the years. So, and there's a wide variety in the room. So this course is really aimed at project leadership. It's not about your scheduling, it's not about your budgeting, it's about leading the processes that create change in organisations and society. But and leadership is very much about interpersonal relationships and interorganisational relationships on projects. And we look at both of those. And we do this, we've structured this through what we call the 3 domains of project organising. So the 3 domains are the owner domain, that's the project owner, the investor, that might be an NHS trust, it might be Network Rail, organisation like BP in the private sector, and indeed the National Trust. The National Trust doesn't dig holes, it actually commissions people to deliver its new customer relationship management systems or re-roof a stately home. So those are project owners. Then you've got a whole set of suppliers, all the people we know as contractors of various kinds, in the IT sector, in the construction sector, and so on. Equipment suppliers, specialist consultants, all those sorts of organisations. And then there's the domain of the project itself. The temporary organisation actually delivers the project. 3 domains creates 3 interfaces. The governance interface, how does the owner make sure that the project's doing what they want it to do? They're going to get what they expect to get at the end of the project. The commercial relationships, all the relationships between contractual relationships between a supplier and an owner who's commissioning that. And then the supplier is the principal supplier of resources, human resources, technical resources to the project. So you've got the resourcing domain as well, resourcing interface as well. And so we'll cover all this. Basically structures the course, as you'll see in it shortly. And this is how we actually make sense of all the various complex and differing aspects of organising projects. But what we place at the heart of this is leading. And I'll move on now and hand over to Natalya to talk about the project leadership model. Natalya.
Thank you, Graham. Leading is at the heart of leading major projects. And in this course, you will be learning about leading processes and competencies, and in particular, projecting, which is also about storytelling and narrating, relating, how you are managing and leading stakeholders, both internal and external, creating, it's about innovating and actually designing your own project organizations, and sense making, which is essential about making sense about yourself, your team, and the environment within which you operate. Okay, and we build upon our experiences and sharing stories from chief executive officers and senior leaders of major projects across different industries. There will be also opportunity for you for self-reflection. So based on your own experience, how do you share leadership? How do you delegate tasks among your team? And how can you also improve your leading competencies in the future? So it is a whole journey of enhancing and improving your own and your team's leadership processes and competencies. So part of it, we will introduce the notion of incomplete leader, okay, and how you can achieve a sort of complete team leadership competencies, which will help you in the future. Any role you have in your organization, aiming to get higher roles in the future and become senior, this course is a fantastic opportunity to learn about leadership, and your team, how you can work with your team and external stakeholders to improve your practices of leading major projects. Next slide, please. Okay, yes, we are working as a team, and our ideas are based on our published book, Strategic Project Organizing, published by Oxford University Press. So it contains practical case studies, vignettes, where you can learn about different concepts and how you can apply this into practice. Okay, it's available for you digitally, and we will refer to this source throughout the course.
Yeah. And we also provide, when you actually arrive in Manchester, you'll get a hard copy of it as well to take away. So you get both a digital version and a hard copy. Thanks, Natalya. So what I'm going to do now is give you a bit more of a sense of how the 4 days work. So day one, fairly obviously introductory. We introduce the concepts of the 3 domains and the project leadership model. And we have a fascinating case study of, well, it says Waterloo International Terminal there. It's actually the actual words of the project leader of that project and how all the different ways in which he led that project. We then move in the afternoon to talk about the owner domain. And I should mention we'll do the project leadership model self-assessment. So you'll be asked, if you register for the course, you're asked to do a self-assessment against the project leadership model, which we'll discuss in class. And then we move on to the owner domain. What about capable owners, importance of managing stakeholders, talk about project narratives, got an exercise on project narratives, and we've got an absolutely fascinating case study, which is the Eden project in Cornwall. And that is the way that was managed and the way that was achieved, that fantastic project was delivered, was absolutely fascinating. And even more fascinating, as some of you will know, the Eden project in Morecambe, it'll be a more maritime version of the Eden project, is actually expected to start digging next year. And so then we move on to the supplier domain, all the issues around the suppliers and contracts and professional service firms, how they work, and how what we call project-based firms, a particular business model of a contractor, of a specialist consultant. We have a great case study on thunder ships, about trying to sell airships to a Pacific Ocean island nation. Then we talk about delivery domain. This is more the familiar world of project organizing, but here we emphasize things like psychological safety and early warning signs, the importance of that in teams, and how you make sure your project is resilient. And an absolutely brilliant tool, it's a way of thinking really, system dynamics, which we'll introduce you to. Then we move on to the interfaces, governance interface. Basically it's about owners ensure that they get what they want out of their project. We talk about innovation as well. And we talk about particularly about how you work stage gate processes in your organization. And then we've got, again, a fascinating case study, which is Venice Biennale, which we spend a lot of time thinking project governance is very formal and bureaucratic, but how in the Venice Biennale they achieve very successful project governance through a much more informal interpersonal means. Then we talk about the commercial interface, all the issues around contracting strategy, capture management, which is the bid strategies of suppliers. We've got the tool there, the owner contracting map, which we developed actually with BP, and we know that BP now use. And we've got a wonderful little case study at Walsington Sewage Treatment Works. Seems modest, but it's actually really fascinating. Moving on to resources, talk about human and material resources project. We have discussion about the role of AI and how that's changing project management, and the whole notion of project management 4.0, how we have basically an information system enabled project management, ranging from digital twins through to all the benefits of AI. And finally, integrating the learning. So what we want you to do is not just have a classroom experience, discussing with colleagues, discussing with peers, sharing experiences, but we want you to think about how you take that back to your organization, how you think about how you can start to change your organization over the coming years. And we've got a tool there, Project Canvas, which is a way of summarizing what any particular project is about, so you can communicate with stakeholders and communicate with your team. And then we finish with a group exercise where you help each other to think about how you can take the learning back to your workplace. And this is so this is how we integrate learning, working as small teams, 3 to 4 people, and you basically, we ask you to advise each other on how to take it back to your workplace and how to share the ideas more broadly. And that image on my right there is the project canvas, and you'll understand all the elements of that as we go through the 4 days. So that both is a tool for communication back in your organization, but also acts as a summary of all the ideas we'll go through over the 4 days. Right, back to Quincy.
Brilliant, Graham. Natalya, that was fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, I think you've all got a really good insight into all the nuts and bolts in the course and how it can really help you to effectively, both theoretically but very practically as well through those case studies, improve your leadership, project leadership skills. Also want to highlight that psychometric Graham mentioned at the beginning as well, really self-assessing yourself so you know where you are and where you need to improve on as well. And so who is this course for? So it's for individuals, new project leadership skills, new thinking, greater confidence, executive network, career development. Often we have people who are senior managers, but maybe your team has gone from 4 to 40 to 400, and now you've got programs and portfolios, and you're really thinking to yourself, how do I practically, but also theoretically in my head, get around that? This is the excellent course for you that's really going to help you there. And then it's also for organizations. Do you want to, maybe you're here in your sponsor, you're on this webinar and you're thinking of people within your team to take on, and you're thinking, how can I upskill them for the projects coming on ahead? So for your organization, going on this course yourself or sending people on this course, they can become more effective project leaders. They can become assured project delivery, growth and productivity. And then also it's a great way of retaining talent. If you invest in people, and if you invest the time and the money in people, it's a great way of showing them how much you appreciate them. And then again, in that whole kind of retaining thing, which is so important now within our current business, current climate as well. Fantastic. Next slide, please, Graham. Brilliant. So yeah, so just go back to the client relations team. We would be your first port of call, though Graham is very generous with his time. I know before we've had to go back and forth with organizations, and once they spoke to Graham, that was it. That was the clincher for them, and they signed up on the course. But the first port of call would be myself, Eve, and Avila, who are on the client relations team, and we will speak to you, go through any issues you may have or any points that you want to go over to get you booked onto this course. And we're available at the emails below. I'll put also my work number into the chat, and you can reach us at any kind of business time, 9 to 5 on Monday to Friday. Brilliant. Right. Thank you so much, Graham. That's 20 minutes. And if you've got any questions, excellent. Avila on my team has just mentioned, if anybody's got any questions in the chat, now's the time to pop them in the chat.
Or raise your hand.
Or raise your hand, yeah, and then we'll get down to you. Just remember, if you do raise your hand and speak, this is being recorded. Just let us know. But yeah, drop any questions in the chat if you have any questions at all. I know I have one question, Graham. Unfortunately, it's the classic question. How are you finding AI is affecting the world of project leadership?
World of project leadership as such, I don't think it does, what leaders need to do is understand the potential of AI to improve the way they deliver the project. Obviously, the whole set of issues about AI development projects, but we're more focused on how AI can help deliver projects. And leaders need to understand the benefits and opportunities. So we will talk about topics such as project data analytics. So what happens at the moment is project control systems generate vast amounts of data, but it's very much underanalyzed, and how we can automate the analysis of that data. We'll talk about that. And then there's the various, I mean, many of you in your organizations, some of the standard AI things which they can use to generate. We could use AI to generate the transcript of this meeting, for instance, and so on and so forth. So that there's all sorts of aspects to it. But from a leader's point of view, it's mainly being aware of the potential and the opportunities, and hopefully you can hire some good people to actually deliver it for you.
Yes, that is it. Perfect, brilliant answer. Thank you very much. Any other questions at all in the chat? I know there's one question there, but I think Vila's mentioned it. Oh, thank you, Rajwinder. You mentioned what is the cost of this course? The course costs £3,990. I'll email you and call you personally, Rajwinder, just to talk through that. But for everybody on the course, on the call at the moment, it's £3,990. But we are offering discounts to people in the Greater Manchester area, which brings it down to £1,995. And then also we do group discounts as well. So if you were looking to bring, say, 5 people in the course, that would be another different conversation. So hopefully that answers that question. But Rajwinder, I'll make a note to contact you directly, and we'll have a chat through that as well. Also, just to repeat what I mentioned, it's 4 days in person in Manchester as well at our business school, our executive education centre, which is state-of-the-art, an excellent facility there in Manchester.
Yeah, it's a very good dedicated facility. Yeah, I mean, there's the hotel next door for those that want to stay over, and so you can basically walk through. It's just there's a door separating the two, and we usually have lunch in the hotel. So it's a very nice facility. So it's a dedicated executive education facility on the wonderful University of Manchester campus, which is in the centre of the wonderful Manchester. So, and it's always sunny here as it is today. So
yes, yeah, yeah. Don't believe what you've heard about Manchester. It's definitely going to be sunny when this course happens. The rain won't come. I predict it. Yeah, fantastic, brilliant. Sorry, Chris.
Always sunny. Well, not always, but nowhere's always sunny.
Yeah. Looking forward to have you, Krista, on the course as well. Fantastic. Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
brilliant.
And we actually do have a very good. Natalya and I really enjoy the social aspect of it, getting everybody interacting and that sort of thing. I think it's fair to say it's a very friendly course. We try to make it very friendly and get everybody knowing each other and sharing with each other. Because in a very important sense for this sort of work, yes, we've got a lot of concepts and ideas, but actually we work the basis. The real knowledge is in the room in front of us, and it's about teasing out that knowledge and getting you to share with each other. And we use our concepts and frameworks to help you share with each other in a structured way. And that's how the learning happens. So you teach each other as much as we teach you, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's
it is very interactive, very engaging. Yeah. And there is a social event where we can, do more networking with you. So yeah, I find really this experience is brilliant, and I like coming to Manchester, especially end of May. Should be really good.
Yeah.
Weather. Yeah.
Fantastic. Brilliant. And just again highlighting, there's the course itself, which is excellent, and then there's that networking section part of it, where you're going to be meeting people from all across the world, all different sectors. That's always a massive part of the course that people really, really enjoy, as well as the teaching.
Some more questions in the chat, Quincy.
Yep. Sorry. Hi there, Charles.
Dates of the course.
All right.
It's
Excellent.
20 to 23rd, is that?
Yes. 20th to the 23rd of May. So 4 days there. And you get a certificate and a digital badge from the University of Manchester, from the business school AMBS. So again, hopefully that answers your question, Charles, but I'll make a note just to respond directly to you in regards to your question as well. But just for everybody.
There are more dates. There is December delivery. So we are doing it a few times in a year. We've done it already several times.
It's a well-honed course.
It's a well-established course. We get repeat business. It's an excellent course. Thank you, Kasim. So we cap it at 30 on the course so that there's not too many, but each course, for example, last time we had around 15 or so as well. So it's not too big, but it's not too small as well. You really get the chance to have really good, intimate conversations, as well as having a good enough cohort with a lot of people from all different sectors from all around the world, all in that project leading space, Kasim.
Yeah.
And I know you've been on the course before, Kasim, so it'd be good to welcome you back. Fantastic. Brilliant. Any other questions before we wrap up? Just a good wrap up time. After this call, by the way, just for 5 minutes, I'll present just on all the short courses in general. Feel free to stay or leave at that point, just because I know some people message me and they say they'd like to know about all our short courses. So I'll give a bit on all our courses.
Okay.
So I think
I'll close. Just to be clear, you can take over this Teams, can't you? If I leave,
yes,
you can take over. Yeah,
I can take over. Yeah, brilliant.
Okay.
Any more questions? I think that's about it. We'll wrap up from there. Thank you, everybody, for your time. And if you do have any questions, again, just contact me directly and I'll get straight back to you. You can find me on LinkedIn or directly on the website or on my email, any of the channels as well, and we'll get directly back to you. But I just want to say thank you. If we can all give our appreciation. Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Natalya. What an excellent presentation. I was there taking down notes as well. So absolutely fantastic. Brilliant.
Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, everybody.
During the course.
Right. Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.